Damn. Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
I'm Tim Westmoto. Let's go have some fun. That's right. I'm getting off the YZ and on to another bike. A 2018 KTM 350 SXF to be exact. I wanted to get on other bikes, see what they were all about, see the difference in comparison to my 1997 YZ250. Now, I'm only comparing this bike to my 97 YZ250. So, is the difference between this 2018 350, I know somebody somewhere out there is going to see the video and say, but you got to think about these other bikes, you got to think about the KX, you got to think about this, that's not what I'm talking about. This is strictly between my bike and this bike. Now, the very first thing I noticed when I hopped on this 350 was obvious, the fact that it's 4-stroke. I'm used to my 2-stroke. It's a very big difference to me with the power delivery and how you ride them overall. Also, it's got electric start, which is a bonus. I love electric start. My YZ does not have it. One thing I wish it did have, but it does not. Either way, electric start and it's a 4-stroke. Now, for anyone that's coming off a 2-stroke, going onto a 4-stroke and taking it through the trail like this, you're going to understand and appreciate the difference. Not only is it a bigger motor, but it's also geared different, it's tamed different than a 2-stroke. So you got to kind of have a different feel for it. But one of the big things I noticed while I was taking it through this trail was the vibration. My YZ vibrates like there's no tomorrow. This KTM 350, there was literally no vibrations. I couldn't feel anything from the motor. I could hear it. We could understand what we wanted from each other. I just couldn't feel it through my hands, my teeth, and my face like I do on my YZ250. Something I remembered from 4-strokes that I've owned previously is when you slam on that rear brake, it's going to slow that motor down a lot. And when you do so, you can actually stall the bike, which is exactly what I did there. But luckily, I've done that a million times on my old YZs that were 4-strokes. I had carried enough momentum to where I could do a bump start. We got back into it, kept on getting it. Which really was something else that impressed me about this bike, because I really couldn't feel any kind of a jolt or any kind of a resistance from the stall and the bump start. It was just kind of like a smooth thing, and we kept on with the ride.
Feels really good.
One thing I really liked about this, and I'm going to keep saying one thing I really liked about it, there's a bunch of things I liked about the bike, was the electric start was moved from right side to left side. And I think that's a perfect situation when you want to start in any gear coming off of a hair scramble line, which is what the guy that owns this bike races. We race in the VCHSS. And I think that is just a perfect spot for the electric start. When you're starting on a dead engine start and trying to catch a hole shot or to get into the woods quickly, and you have that electric start next to your clutch, you hit that button, you dump the clutch, you're going. haven't been on the 4-stroke in a while, probably a year or so. But once I hopped on this thing, after a little bit of time with it, I got a little more comfortable. It started bringing back, you know, that muscle memory kind of deal. And I remembered that you can throttle over a lot of stuff and just loft that front wheel over without really preloading the suspension a whole lot, which I messed around with a little bit here and there, and I just thought was awesome. It reminded me a lot of how much I enjoyed my previous 4-stroke bikes that I had, and also the appreciation of the difference between the 2-stroke and the 4-stroke. And one thing you're going to hear going through this video, if you listen, is the fact that I'm kind of struggling trying to find the gear that I want to be in. And it's only because I'm used to how I have my bike set up, my YZ250. This one, the gearing is really tight. In order to get that pedal in that position you want, you really gotta want it, basically. From what I can notice, I was paying a lot of attention to that because I kept finding myself going from first to neutral instead of first to second, or from third to second, or second to third, or fourth, or however many gears I wanted to go through. I really had to put a lot more pressure on the shifter than what I'm used to, and with still trying to get used to the Fox 180 boots, it was a little more of a difficult thing to do, and it was something I had to pay a little more attention to, which kind of took my mind off of the ride a little bit. And basically that's my only downfall with this whole entire ride on this KTM 350. And while the other guys kind of took off and did their own thing, I wanted to take this bike back through the trail, kind of get a better feel for it, because I know, you know, I'm not going to be able to get on it as much as I would really like to. So I kind of want to get a better observation on how it works through the trails, because I've only taken it through once. I've only spent 45 minutes on this bike, and I really wanted to do a well-rounded review, basically, with the time that I had in comparison with my YZ. Something that people don't consider, or at least a lot of the newer guys that are into hair scrambles, are shaving your bars down. Now, these bars, they felt just fine with me, and it could have been the vibration difference, it could have been a number of things, but I didn't even ask if they were shaved down at all. And really, I never even thought about it, because obviously the trail is a lot more open than what we're used to racing, but I didn't feel like I was concerned with the bars being shaved down either, because it felt basically pretty good. Now on my YZ, I've cut an inch off of each side, and you can definitely tell it when you hop on it, that when you go through the tight stuff, you can pretty much weave in and out of all of it. With this 350, it was the exact same feeling, and I'm leaning more towards the bars were shaved down a little bit, but they might not have been. I'm not sure. But like I was saying, it's not really a concern that I had while I was going through, because I was enjoying the ride so much that I wasn't even worried about it. And I want to give a huge thank you to my buddy Steven. It's his bike. He races in the VCH SS. He was nice enough to tell me I can hop on it and take it out for a spin, do a review. I really appreciated it. I really enjoyed riding this bike. Kind of changing my mind about KTMs. As you all know, I'm a diehard Yamaha fan, but this KTM really isn't that bad. So, We have the knockdown hare scramble coming up. Make sure you guys hang around. You want to see the footage from that, definitely. Until then, I'm 10 West Moto, and I'll see you on the starting line.
It's nice, man, yeah.